Hey guys, Books Nelson here with another card breakdown for you today. Let's get right into the content. So normally I would break this up into two videos, but since there aren't that many cards, we'll be doing the playoff cards as well as the spark cards all in one, particularly because there's a couple of small point guards here that we're not going to spend quite as much time on because at this point in the cycle, they just don't require it. So we're going to go straight into it. All right, so Mike Conley, Galaxy Opal. Mike Conley is 6'1", which means he plays for nobody except for if his kids play my team and his mom plays my team. Nobody else is running Mike Conley. I'm kidding, but that's not far from the truth. But we'll still look at the card. LeBron James combo moves is unfortunate, but I will say the D-Rose size up with Kyrie Irving is excellent. Pro Tool Leaner is awesome. I mean, listen, animation-wise, he's okay. Steph Curry behind the back. His own release. Again, not going to spend too much time on Mr. Conley here. Just giving a quick overview. For those of you who are Timberwolves fans, maybe you might want to run him on a theme team or something like that. Or if there are objectives, or if one day in the future that salary comes way down, he might be more relevant. But as it is right now, for a small card, he looks relatively solid. But we are going to keep it moving. Nimrod, this MFer right here. Oh man, he hit that crazy shot against my Knicks, which I'm actually glad, because if we would have played in the conference finals, I can't imagine the injuries we would have went into at the offseason. All right, we're going to get back to 2K, but good shot, sir. Good shot. We beat y'all in 5 if we're healthy, but good shot. All right, moving on. So Nimrod, 6'4", 191. Should be a generally solid size PG. Tons of small PGs in this game, and he joins the ranks, the DiVincenzo's, the Derrick Whites, and so on and so forth. So let's see what he's got going on. Moving pro behind the back. He's got his own shot. I believe his shot is good. If I'm not mistaken, I believe his shot is good. Pro Tool Leaner, excellent. Kyrie Irving dribble style. Steve Francis size up. Pretty elite SIGs, I have to say. John Wall crossover, absolutely elite. John Wall step back, elite. Depending on what this behind the back, Chris Paul hesitations elite. This guy's got really, really elite SIGs across the board from a dribbling standpoint. The only thing I'm concerned about is what is this behind the back specifically. But I'll tell you what, you can't ask for better pretty much across the board with the rest of his SIGs. Love what he's talking about there. Let's look at the stats and badges real quick. Alrighty. So badge-wise, extremely complete offensively and defensively. I'd say rise up, maybe the only thing he would want to help out that 65 standing dunk. Definitely will want a shoe for this 85 driving dunk to bring that up, a shoe to bring the strength up. And I would even consider, if you're playing cards that don't need something, like say if your card's all already kind of in the high 90s and 3s, I think a strength coach at this point in the year is probably better. If there are strength coaches out there, I think that might be better than running a three-point coach if a lot of your cards have very, very high three-pointer. If you got a couple of those cards that are in the 80s and you're kind of boosting them, then maybe you feel differently. But yeah, Nimrod looks pretty solid across the board. Looking really, really good for Nimrod as a 6'4" point guard. Derrick Lively, really interested. Here's another one where we got burned as the Knicks. This was our draft pick, and Dallas lost on purpose. And then they drafted this guy, I believe, with this draft pick. Oh, got us good. Got us good. Okay, 76 three-pointer. Looking pretty good for that. I think his shot is usable. And it's going to be on very quick, so it should be even more usable. SIGs-wise, can he dribble at all? First, let's look at the attributes to see if he can dribble. He sure can. 86 ball handle. Again, needs that handles for days in hyperdrive. Guys, I can't stress this enough. Handles for days not only helps your stamina, but it makes you dribble a lot faster. When I put gold handles for days on that Bill Walton, I almost wanted to redo the video. He was moving so differently. Handles for days, handles for days, handles for days. Got to put this on these big guys. Not because you're going to be dribbling around with them at the top of the key 5 outing, but because anytime you do dribble, you don't want the card to lose a minute of playtime because their stamina got hit so very hard. Absolutely necessary. He's also going to need some of these shooting badges. You guys can figure out which ones you like the most, but for me, looking at what he has here, because he has catch and shoot, we're really happy about that. I would definitely say Green Machine and Green Machine Deadeye Corner Specialist would be the ones I would want the most out of the next ones. And then after that, you do what you want. 7'1". This guy might actually be pretty good. 91 speed. I tell you what, At a glance, I got to look at his jumper, but at a glance, I'm liking Derrick Lively more than several of the centers we've gotten recently from some of these collections. I think Derrick Lively might actually be one of the better bigs, especially available bigs in the game. I think Derrick Lively has a chance to compete. In fact, if you got that Tyson Chandler and you got this Derrick Lively, you might be able to hold it down against the better cards. No, your cards aren't going to be as good as Wemby. They're not going to be as good as maybe like a KP or if somebody's got 100 overall. But will he be able to hold his own? I think he will. I would say the one thing about Lively is just getting that 92 strength up. But since he can dribble, let's look at the rest of these six. Kobe escape, which is actually very good. Westbrook size up, okay. Michael Jordan dribble style, which is good. Kobe breakdown, don't love it. Giannis crossover. So with the Giannis crossover, the between the legs, I believe, is the really strong dribble going to the basket. What's his hezzy? He's got pro hezzy. It says a bunch of these other good cards. It depends. I don't know which one that hezzy is going to be. But if it's a really good hezzy with the Chris Paul moving step back, these are fairly elite SIGs on Derrick Lively. Now, again, he's 7'1", so he's not going to move super crazy. But I will probably do a breakdown of this card just because with these cards, it's not about finding some crazy part combo that you're going to be doing over and over. He would just get super tired and you'd have to sit him down. What it's about is having a set of moves, having a little bag so that when you are in a situation, you can take advantage of it efficiently, right? And I think his SIGs are good enough that he can do it. He has normal moving behind the back, which is not super strong, and basic hop jumper, which is not super strong. Normal lean is okay. But still, this guy looks like a very, very usable big in this playoffs collection, and we do not get a lot of bigs so that we can actually obtain. So this guy looks like he might actually be a massive W. All right. Cam Johnson from the Spark collection, from the New Jersey Swamp Dragons. So Cam, let's see. We're going to go straight to the SIGs. Cam is 6'8" at the small forward position at the exact size cap that you want your small forwards to begin, right? To not be undersized. Kemba escape. Love that. Normal size up. Okay, this isn't great, the normal size up, but I'm looking at the rest of his SIGs, and there is still potential for this character. This is definitely a card I'm going to have to actually get and play around with to see if his strengths overcome his weaknesses. Because if we look at his strengths, he's got Michael Jordan dribble style, Kemba escape. Right off the bat, that means he can L2 cancel, left stick cancel, and be really good at that. I'm not sure about KD's combo moves. I have to look at that. Kobe's breakdown moves, I do not like. Michael Jordan crossover, mid. Kyrie moving behind the back, I have to take a look at it. Haven't used it in a very long time. But I will say, when it comes to some of these dribbles, again, in my team, it's not about the move itself. It's about, does the move give you some opportunities with the rest of the stuff the card can do? John Wall moving step back, absolutely elite. I can tell you straight up, with just the John Wall moving step back, and the Kemba escape moves, and the Michael Jordan dribble style, and that new tech that I showed you guys on that Devin Booker video. I've been using this in the rec, absolutely cooking people in the rec with this new tech. It is one of my favorite things I've ever discovered about a 2K. And if this was earlier in the year, this would have blown up and they might have even patched it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, I think it's that important. It is the best crossover in the game. Basically, everybody can do it. I might do another video on it, just specifically talking about the move, now that I've explored it in other contexts. But he will obviously be able to do that move, and depending on how fast he is when he does the move, it'll determine how strong the card is. But he's got normal leaner, basic 2-hop jumper. He's got his shot on very quick. I think his shot should be pretty good, but I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, depending on how this all blends together will determine how good this card is. I don't think he's going to be phenomenal, but will he be usable? That's really what it comes down to. Can he, you know, if you haven't got a truly elite small forward, can he hold it down for you? That's what we're looking for Cam Johnson. And as it is right now, that's looking like a maybe, because he's got a 96 3 ball, 90 driving dunk, 89 strength is actually pretty good because we can get that up over into the 90s. The steal can easily be upgraded. The block can be upgraded. I would definitely pull up on those. I would say speed shoot as well. So he's going to need athleticism and a little bit of defense. The nice thing is, as a shooter, extraordinarily complete. All right. And actually, as a playmaker, he is going to need challenger, though. Let's go ahead and see if he has immovable enforcer before he trolls us. He does. He does indeed have immovable, and it's on Hall of Fame. Clamps, immovable in Hall of Fame. You get that strength in the 90s. He should feel pretty good defensively. Perhaps not elite because he does only have a 6'10 wingspan, so he's not going to have a big defender frame at only 210. At 6'8, it's probably going to be a little on the slim side. But I will say he looks pretty good. He looks pretty good. Not amazing, but pretty good. Keldon Johnson, 6'5", at the 2-guard position. Already undersized coming in. 92 3-ball, 92 speed, not elite athleticism. This looks like a reasonably troll card. But I will say, loving the SIGs. Trae Young behind the back. So this is really interesting. So they've been giving Jamal Murray to everybody, right? A lot of Jamal Murray, a lot of Harden, a lot of Halliburton. And that's fine because it's a great move. However, the Trae Young behind the back is also a great move. It's just great for slashers. And this is something I really like. And going forward, I would love for the devs, especially, and we're in a new era where it's not just one dribble move for every slot, right? Like I can make an argument why I would rather have a Kobe Bryant dribble style over some of with you know, depending on what the card is, or even a Michael Jordan. Is Kyrie Irving the best? Yes, but I might want a different attack with a different card. Same thing with the size ups. Even Trae Escape versus Kemba Escape combo moves. This Tim Hardaway combo moves, excellent. It has a completely different use than the James Harden combo moves. Every card doesn't have to be exactly the same to be elite in a different way. Sometimes it's good to have different ways to attack. And so him getting that Trae Young behind the back, having that really fast advancing dribble, it's an excellent move. And I think if you find the right bag, he's got this excellent Chris Paul moving step back, which I actually just switched to off of the John Wall in Rec. I just switched to Chris Paul, cooked somebody with it yesterday, right? This card has a lot of good things going for him individually. I would say at 6'5", I'm looking at him more for triple threat than for something like Unlimited or, you know, Clutch Time. But again, if that salary comes down, maybe you give him a look. But I think for triple threat, he might be pretty good, especially if you don't have a card that you love at that position right now. But he's got Pro Tool Leaner, which is great. I'm not sure about Kent Bazemore Hop Jumper, but I'll definitely take a look at it. His own shot on very quick. Got to take a look at how that is. But yeah, Keldon Johnson looking all right. I would say stats-wise, he's a little underwhelming. 92 3-point, could be higher. Slashing, he's great. Athletically, well, he does have a 90 strength, which is something to look at. So he's losing a little on height, but his wingspan's good. His weight is good, right? So he should have a stockier player model, and he's got the strength over 90. So even though he's undersized in terms of height, I don't think height is everything in this year's 2K. I think height is a factor, and it's a good thing to have, but I do think you can have other things that might make you want to say, you know what, I prefer that over height. And if I am going to have a 2-guard who's 6'5", and I understand it's a very competitive position, but we're just reviewing the card as he is, not how he is in relation to the cards you might have, right? Got to see what he's talking about. I don't think he's probably better than Dark Matter Jimmy Butler, but looking at the card on his own, if I'm going to have a shorter card, I want him to have more strength, and that gives him at least a chance to play. The one thing I would say is with that strength, I would have loved for him to have Hall of Fame immovable. If he had Hall of Fame immovable, I would speak a little more highly of this card. But because with the high strength plus the immovable, that would have been like, okay, now we're talking about something. But he looks, I'm actually a little surprised. He looks all right. Ty Lawson. Wow. I have not heard this name in a long time. He's 5'11". Guys, I'm not going to spend more than 30 seconds talking about a 5'11" card. Let's go. Steve Francis, Michael Jordan dribble style, Trae Escape. He's got pretty elite SIGs. Kawhi Leonard moving behind the back, and he's out of here. All right, moving on. DeAndre Jordan. Very curious what they're talking about with DeAndre Jordan. 25 3-ball. He's out of here. Guys, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. We're doing double with cards. We are not. Actually, before we go to Jaylen Brown, let's go to Kyrie Irving and just see what he looks like compared to his Galaxy Opal. See what the differences are. So let's see here. Animation wise, exactly the same across the board. Literally nothing different from the Opal. Attribute wise, what has changed? Driving dunk has gone up somewhat. Standing dunk, he should get some standing dunks from under the basket. But I tell you what, at this point in the year, and my whole channel is about finding, the juice and the beauty in cards. I just don't think Kyrie's SIGs are good enough for a small point guard. I just don't think a small point guard can be this, great with these SIGs. I think his SIG, he has some elite SIGs, but all together as a package, I think his SIGs are an earlier in the year kind of thing. And I do hope going forward that they continue to improve Kyrie's SIGs, because I don't think his SIGs represent his play style. I don't think if you use Kyrie Irving SIGs, you really look like you're using Kyrie Irving. I think his dribbles need to be snappier. I think you need to be able to branch a lot easier. I think his dribbles have a little too much, they focus too much on the fanciest Kyrie Irving stuff. But for me, I think about his, quick change of direction, pitter patter, going left and right, and having a lot of freedom of movement. I don't think this is a freedom of movement dribble style at this point. I think some things have it, some things don't. I will continue to work with it, because I'm not going to pretend that I've spent as much time in the lab to really tell you exactly about every single one of his dribbles. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend more time with Kyrie Irving. I do have this Opal Kyrie Irving on my main account. I'll probably wind up with this one on at least my no money spent. But this is a Kyrie Irving card. He's going to shoot well. I actually like Kyrie's jumper. Very easy to hit on, very quick. It's fine. It's not super duper fast. I do think you can hit leaners at an extremely high clip. But really, I don't see a big difference between this and the Opal. He's just the Opal with a little sprinkling of stats all over the place. And the main thing you're going to see out of this, we will look at the badges before we get out of here, is just that his dunking is probably going to be more consistent, with this driving dunk elevated to an 89 with a shoe and possibly a coach. These dunk meters should look a lot better. All right, let's look at the badges real quick. And let's see, finishing badges, what does he not have? So he didn't get anything, but these are all post-up badges. Funny thing is, Kyrie's actually one of the best post-up guards in the game. So it's kind of funny that he doesn't have a few of these post badges when he actually deserves them. He's small, but he posts up larger players. Him and Jaylen Brunson. Jaylen Brunson, Drew Holiday, Russell Westbrook, probably the top post-up guards off the top of my head for smaller guys, right? Westbrook starts to get a little taller. Drew gets to get a little taller. But anyway, yeah, badge-wise, he's just got a few badges that have gone up to Hall of Fame. From gold, he gets brick wall, post-lockdown, and rebound chaser, which are actually good badges. Makes him a little more viable in triple threat. So, yeah, this is just a slightly better version of his Opal card, and not really much to talk about from there. All right, Jaylen Brown. So let's go ahead and compare him to the recently released Jaylen Brown. And somebody was saying his jumper's trash. I don't think his jumper's trash. I think his jumper's okay. I don't think it's elite. I think his jumper is in line with to me, there's three basic jumpers, right? You've got Patty, which is basically in a class by itself, right next to T-Mac though. T-Mac, Patty's faster and shouldn't be on super tall cards. That's what makes it cheesy. It's Patty on a tall card is kind of crazy. But T-Mac is also super duper elite, crazy shot contests. Then you've got the group of also really good ones like Ben Shepherd and stuff like that. I think Jaylen Brown is in the group after that. Perfectly usable. It has its strengths and its weaknesses. It's not super baited. I don't think it's like Michael Jordan or anything. I think Michael Jordan is a, look out, danger ahead kind of a release. This card looks like it is literally the same card. And actually, shout out to my comment section. We talked about this, that if you're pulling packs, you might want to be careful, because we would probably get a Jaylen Brown card. And lo and behold, we got literally exactly the same Jaylen Brown card. It is the same card. So great, because now I will know exactly how good this card is, because I'm going to be able to get this card. And this will be great for my no money spent account, because he will probably be my backup 2 guard at the very worst behind Jimmy Butler. And I absolutely love that. So yeah, we'll see how this Jaylen Brown card is, but whatever I said about him in the last breakdown is going to hold true for this breakdown. Bunch of great SIGs. And yeah, we'll see how it all works out all together as a package with this Jaylen Brown. So look for a gameplay of that in the reasonably near future. Alrighty. Reggie Lewis. Actually very curious about this Reggie Lewis card, because he determines if on the way up you're looking good. So I don't love this 89 3 ball. People really love the recent clutch time reward. and he, I think, had an 81 3 ball. I was dismissive. If you guys love that card, let me know. I will look deeper into that card. And listen, I'm in these previews, I don't think I'm going to be right about everything. My policy is until you actually use the card, you don't know for sure. But we're just going with the information, what we have, the best approximation that we have. And generally, we do pretty good here on this channel. But I will say, if you think you can run an 81 3-ball card compared to the cards that are available right now and the cards you might have in your lineup, then I will take a second look at that card if his SIGs are just that great, if he's so great at other things that the 81 3-ball is there. My main thing is if you're on the perimeter, and this does relate to this Reggie Lewis, if you can create threes, you need a high enough 3-point shot that if you're moving from like agent threes, I'm not taking a big hit. I don't love the idea of shooting an agent threes shot with less than an 86 and Hall of Fame badges. Now, anything you can get over 92, it's going to feel even better. 92, 93, 94. Every shot rating feels better going from 92 up to 99. So the higher you can get, the better you can get when it comes to 3-point shot. When it comes to catch and shoot shots, honestly, I think with a 73 pointer, as long as the release is good and you have a high mid-range, catch and shoot feels pretty much the same. But if you're creating on the perimeter, I need a little more. That's my perspective. Now, speaking of a little more, this guy's a 2-guard with 92 strength. I love that very much. And that makes me want to look at his immovable, Hall of Fame immovable. Okay, just off of that, having 95 speed, 98 vert, 92 strength, and half immovable, I already want to give this card a try. And I hope when I click this tab that says animations, I don't get a jump scare because he got a 98 driving dunk. And this is the kind of card that with an 89 3-ball, I throw a shoe on it and call it a day because of what else he might bring to the table. Let's see what he does. Trey escape, Steve Francis, Michael Jordan dribble style. Absolutely love that. Luka, actually really do like Luka Doncic moving crossover. Not as good as Kobe and John Wall, but in that next group for sure. Steph Curry snatch, love that. Don't like the way it sounds, but the Steph Curry snatch back, absolutely love that. Pro behind the back, yeah, he might have a really good behind the back as well. This card might be talking about something. Have to see what this jumper is like. He does have the same jumper from his old card. Normal leaner, normal hop jumper, both acceptable. Not super duper elite, but definitely acceptable. And then, you know, dunking wise, he looks good. Layup package looks good. And yeah, badge wise across the board, doesn't need anything. Whoa, I'm curious to see if he plays better than Jaylen Brown, to be honest with you. Depends on this jumper. I'm really curious because we may have gotten 2 free elite 2-guards today. That might have happened. And now the exciting thing about this is them putting out these 2 cards for free, especially since Jaylen Brown was just behind the gambling wall, right? Now that these 2 cards are free, I expect the cards coming forward in the packs might hopefully be an upgrade when it comes to these shot bases, because you can't give us Reggie Lewis and Jaylen Brown for free and then give us anything less than at least like Ben Shepherd style bases, as we talked about before. All right, and last but absolutely not least, Mr. Penny Hardaway, little Penny. So let's look at badge wise, see what he's talking about first. Looking really good. I would definitely say upgrade that interceptor, the Hoff interceptor. Even the chase down at his height. What's his block? He's got a 90 block. I'd probably upgrade that too. I definitely think he could use a little love in terms of the Hoff badges, just across the board. Hoff open looks, if you have that one, I would definitely dump that into this penny card. But we look stats and badge wise, absolutely elite stats wise, like 94 steal, high and mid 90s defensively, athleticism, pretty much 99able across the board except for strength. You can 99 to speed, acceleration, vert, everything. Dunking wise, going to be absolutely elite. Pass accuracy is 99. Listen, we're not going to overlook that here on this channel. 99 pass accuracy. This guy is going to be throwing absolute bullets across the court, and I love that. So even though he has quote unquote only gold bailout, that gold bailout with the 99 pass act is going to feel even better. Oh my God. Throwing, I got to see what his flashies are. In fact, is this pass package here? I don't think it shows you his signature passing package. Guys, if I'm missing that, let me know so we can improve the videos going forward. But I don't see his pass accuracy here. I mean, his pass animation style. I don't know if they record that here. Gonna have to look at it because it matters. It matters a lot with a 99 pass accuracy, because if he has Halliburton pass style, oh my God, this card is even better than he looks. Definitely got to see what pass animations he gets. And he might be the first card I actually really look at that. I don't know if I'll do that in the actual video, but I will look at it before I break down this card and see what that pass act is like. So 6'10 wingspan, 6'7 at the 1. And animation wise, let's see what he's talking about. Tray escape. Josh size up is fine. It's workable. Michael Jordan dribble style. Kawhi motion style, actually pretty good. Tim Hardaway combo moves, we can definitely work with that. Kobe crossover, absolutely love it. James Harden moving behind the back, second or third best behind the back in the game. Chris Paul moving step back. Actually, for me, I personally like Chris Paul over John Wall. I'll tell you why in the breakdown, but we can discuss it really quick right here. So the thing about the John Wall is it does have an elite snatchback and it has an elite hop back. But if you're running to the side, the John Wall will hop you out of bounds. And if you're trying to get a behind them, there's certain angles that you would want to get a snatch, but instead he'll get that hop as if you're running to the side. And there's angles where it's kind of a guess as to which one you're going to get. And this happens all the time. People hop out of bounds by accident, right? It happens regularly. You'll see it about every 3 or 4 rec games that somebody will do it on your team or the other team. And for me, any dribble move that causes me a turnover, I'm looking for an alternative. Even if it's something that quote unquote is preventable, user error, call it what you want. If I have a move that's not going to punish me for user error, for an execution error, I'm going to favor that move over it. Chris Paul has the exact same hop back, basically. His snatchback is a little slower, but in exchange for that snatchback, you get a much better running hop to the side. So for me, I'm looking at this Chris Paul very favorably over the John Wall. They're both elite. The John Wall has slightly better animations, slightly, but you can use the Chris Paul in the same way without having the weakness of ever getting that terrible hop back. And I will also say, when you have a good short hop like that, that's actually a move you can use. So it's like the Chris Paul moving step back has a third move that the John Wall doesn't have because he jumps so far. He really just jumps all the way off of the court when he does that. So Penny Hardaway shot. Somebody said his shot sucks. I don't think his shot sucks. I think his shot is fine. I put it like with the Jaylen Brown, maybe slightly better than Jaylen Brown, like depending on your taste, but I don't think it sucks. I don't think it's like, for me, when a shot sucks, it means either it has a terrible shot cue or it's like really baited. I think his shot is in the realm of you can hit it, you can get open with it. Is it going to be as good as like a Ron Artest? No. Or maybe even a Shea, maybe like worse than Shea. But is it unusable? No, I don't think it's unusable. I don't think it's unusable at all. I think it's fine. Normal leaner and Pro 2 hop jumper. Don't love the Pro 2 hop. In fact, hate the Pro 2 hop jumper. Normal leaner is pretty good. Definitely good enough to use. If this was Pro 2 leaner or Kobe or D-Book, this guy would be in the conversation for best PG in the game. I still think it's Shea, but I do think Penny Hardaway on some people's teams has a shot at PG2, and it's because of what we talked about earlier. Sometimes it is about preference, and sometimes there are, so for instance, you might find a lot of use out of the Tim Hardaway combo moves, right? And if that's the case, then you might like Penny more just because of that aspect of the card, combined with the fact that he's 6'7 with a 6'10 wingspan, but still is going to move very, very well at his size. So I'm really looking forward to this free Penny Hardaway card. This was a great look. And listen, I'm not at 2K, so I can't tell you guys for sure, but I do think this might be a sign that the previous collections didn't do quite as well, because they definitely look like between him and Reggie Lewis, they might have juiced this collection up a little bit, because Penny Hardaway is a massive name and usually somebody you can get to get you to pull packs. Actually, before we get out of here, let's go ahead and look at him compared to the Opal and see what the upgrades are. So just generally, more athletic across the board, better defense across the board, better slashing across the board, better shooting across the board, and same thing for the playmaking. So he's just an extra level above the Opal. Did he get any animation upgrades? Yes, his shot goes from quick to very quick, which may make it feel that much better. So perhaps if you didn't love his shot on the Opal, maybe this speed upgrade is what you need to feel a little bit better about it. And I will say the moving behind the back also gets an upgrade. The Chris Paul step back is also an upgrade. So yeah, I think this is a viable, noticeable upgrade over the Opal. And if I had the Opal, I would still go get the new Penny, because he's just going to be better across the board and has a few significant improvements from an animation standpoint. So does Penny live up to the hype? It certainly looks like it from this preview, but we will definitely do a full-on deep dive into the card when the cards release to know for sure. And with that, I thank you all for your support up to this point. We're going to keep elevating the conversation and keep it going with the channel. Like I said, you guys keep putting more into the channel, I'll keep putting more into the channel. And you guys have done that, and I'm happy to match your energy. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you have not already, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.